Part 1. An innocent visit that ruined everything. I never thought my family relationships could turn into such a theater of the absurd. I'm 64 years old, a widow for 12 years now, and I live alone in the house my late husband and I built with our own hands. This is our home, our nest, and I always imagined it would someday go to my son. But the key word is someday. Last week, my son came over with his wife, my daughter-in-law, Marta. She's usually sweet, well, at least in public, but from the moment they arrived, I felt some strange tension. After dinner, Marta casually asked if I had already decided who I'd leave the house to. I joked that I wasn't planning on moving to the other side just yet. She smiled, but her eyes, they looked like she was already rearranging the furniture in my living room in her mind. The next day was worse. They stayed for coffee, and Marta started explaining how it would be logical for me to put the house in my son's name now, because it would be safer and cheaper in the future. A chill ran through my chest. This is my home, and I'm alive. To part 2. The pressure turns overt. I thought it was just an odd conversation, but a few days later my son called and said Marta's right, that I could sign the house over to him now, and he would let me live here as long as I wanted. Let me. Do you feel that? What hurt me wasn't just that they wanted my house, it was how they presented it. Not as a request, not as concern for my safety, but as if I were already a burden they could dispose of ahead of time. When I refused, Marta started hinting that it must be hard for me to take care of the house alone, and maybe I should move into a comfortable apartment they'd find for me. And the house? Well, they'd put it up for sale to invest in the children's future. I snapped and told them I'm not moving anywhere, and I won't give up the house while I'm alive. My son went silent, but Marta threw over her shoulder. We'll see. Part 3. The last straw. Last Sunday, I caught Marta in my yard with a realtor. She hadn't even told me. They were just checking what price we could get if we listed the house. I felt like someone poured a bucket of ice water over me. I threw the realtor out, and Marta started yelling that I'm selfish and that my house would end up theirs anyway, so why waste time? After that, I seriously started thinking about signing the house over to someone else, or even selling it and buying something smaller, so no one would feel entitled to it while I'm still alive. My son isn't calling now, and you know what? I actually feel calmer, but I can't shake the feeling that the war over my house has only just begun. Part 4. Lawyers get involved. I thought ignoring them for a while might cool things down. I was wrong. 2 weeks later, I received an official-looking letter in the mail from my son's lawyer. The letter was filled with polite legal jargon, but the message was clear. They wanted me to transfer ownership of the property to my son to secure the family's assets. It even hinted that if I didn't, there could be complications regarding my future care. That line made my stomach drop. Were they threatening to abandon me if I got sick? I called my friend Anna, who's been a paralegal for years. She told me to immediately hire a lawyer of my own. Within a week, I had a no-contact letter sent to both my son and Marta, stating that any further attempts to pressure me about the house would be considered harassment. The silence after that letter was deafening, but I knew it was only temporary. Part 5. My decision. A month passed, and I finally made up my mind. I wasn't going to sit around waiting for the next attack. I met with my lawyer and decided to change my will. The house will go to charity. Yes, you read that right. A local shelter for abused women will inherit my home when I pass away. It felt like taking back my power. This way, no one in my family can circle me like vultures, waiting for me to die. When my son eventually found out, and oh, he did, thanks to a nosy cousin, he showed up at my door, furious. He shouted that I was destroying the family, and that Marta was only thinking of the children's future. I calmly told him that I was thinking of the future, mine, one where I'm not bullied in my own home. Then I closed the door. I haven't heard from them since, and for the first time in months, I slept peacefully.